It's an honour to have you on just for a chat about your story and the history of your music. We're huge fans, and we love talking about having guests on, learning about the music, and helping the newer audiences learn about guys like yourself, Lonnie. Where did it kind of begin for you then, Lonnie? Where did it begin for you in music? I heard, is it a big music family?
Oh yeah, that was it. My father was part of the Harmonizing Four gospel group.
Yeah.
And they were famous all over the world. And I found out years later they were even what was that? They were invited at the White House when I think Roosevelt's funeral.
Wow.
And so I just grew up with music from day one. And so when I was a young kid, all the gospel groups would come by, Dixie Hummingbirds. They had gospel festivals.
Yeah.
So I met, Dixie Hummingbird, Sam Cooke was with the Soul Stirrers. Wow. Even people don't realize the Warmack brothers, they started out in gospel.
Right.
And so from then on, from gospel, so we heard music all the time. And then of course you were in the doo-wop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one day I was in high school, I heard Charlie Parker, what was this song? Charlie Parker with Strings.
Yeah.
And oh man, that just blew me away.
Yeah. That was you sold.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, because I couldn't believe what he was doing. He was playing was so beautiful. It seemed like he was just flying all through the universe. They said, well, I said, what is that? They said, well, he's playing jazz and his improvisation.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what I want to do.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like a big music family. A lot of legends around the house. The guys like Sam Cooke, and around visiting the home as well. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Oh shoot. And then I forgot. Sister Rosetta Starr.
Yeah.
Man, she really loved my father. Because they sang at her wedding, Harmonizing Four, and she moved to Richmond, Virginia one time, and then it always amazed me how she could sing and play that guitar. Yeah. And then when I went to London years later, all these guys, these rock guys, was listening to her. I said, "Oh, okay." And so it was. Oh, then I have two younger brothers.
Yep. Oh.
And the middle brother, Ray Smith, he had a big hit. The John Mayall's A Little Bit of Soap.
Right.
That was my middle brother. Then of course you heard Donald singing on all expansions, all songs like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It was a brother that did a lot of the singing on it. Expansions. We're a huge fan. That track is just timeless. We absolutely love Expansions. What a track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Paul. It was amazing. I mean, when Expansions came out, it just took off. The record company called me up and said, "Oh man, we got to reprint or put out more records that worldwide. It's people going crazy." And I was so naive. They said, "You got to get a manager. You got to get you on the charts." So I mean, so I'm learning about the music business and I had to go through. But it was it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What was your first big break into the music industry?
Oh, my first break?
Yeah.
I guess I always played in bands when I was in high school, and we had a band called the Metronome All Stars. We named it after Billy Eckstine group, and then of course I went after high school. I went to Morgan State University, and up in Baltimore, Maryland, and I met Gary Botts. Because he lived in Baltimore. We all about the same age. So we started hanging out, and I'm going to school, and then we playing at night, because his father had a club called the North End Lounge. So we started playing around Baltimore, and then sometimes groups would come through. Even we worked with Betty Carter. She came through one time. Worked with Ethel Ennis. Baltimore was a good training ground.
Yeah.
And then of course, after that, I went to New York and started working with all kinds of singers. Of course, Betty Carter again, but she for some reason she always find the young pianists when they come in town. Yeah. And then I started working with Joe Williams and Dakota Staten, Al Hibbler, and then eventually started working with Art Blakely and the Jazz Messengers, Max Roach, Rasson Roland Kirk, and then of course. Then Pharoah Sanders and Leon Thomas, we all got together, and that just took off.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, of course, Gato Barbieri. And then eventually, you get the call from Miles Davis. That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's inspiring stuff, isn't it? I think you're on the right path when you get a call from Miles Davis.
Paul, that's it. I mean, he's because as you notice, all musicians that he's when you listen to today, when they left Miles Davis, they formed their own group.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he really made you strong. And okay, I tell you a story. Okay, I was in California, so Farrell was doing a record Themby.
Right.
So now we're in the studio, and all before that, I played the grand piano. So everybody else setting up instruments, drums, unpacking horns.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to do. Piano just waiting. So I see this piano in the corner. I asked the engineer, I said, what is that?
Yeah.
He said, that's a Fender Rhodes piano. I said, oh. So I walked over and just for some reason just started playing it, messing with the knobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the creator gave me this song. Farrell, everybody ran over. The engineer said, man, what are you doing? I said, I'm just writing this song, And they said, well, man, we got to record this right now.
Yeah, wow.
And they said, what you going to call it? And I was studying astral projection. You leave your body, float all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
It's easier said than done. I said, let's call it astral traveling.
Yeah.
And that was my first time playing the Fender Rhodes. So I get with Miles Davis, so I get excited. I said, okay, now I'm going to really get into the Fender Rhodes.
Yep.
So Miles Davis said, no, I'm tired of that sound. He had Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Joe Zawinul. He wanted a new sound.
Yeah, yeah.
So he said, I want you to play that instrument. I said, Miles, what is that? The Japanese had given him a Yamaha electric organ, like a keyboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said, I want you to play that. I want you to hear that. I want to hear that sound. I said, Miles, I never played that one before. He said, that's good. I said, Miles, can I take it home and practice? No. I mean,
went straight into the deep end.
Yeah, that's it. In other words, that's why Miles made you stronger. He wanted you to be creative every night. So I had to learn the instrument and I had to be creative because I was learning and listening to the sounds. And so it made me stronger. So when I left Miles, I formed my own group. So that's what happens.
What was it, Lonnie, about the Fender Rhodes? What was it about the Rhodes that just rung with you then? Was it just because that seemed to be the signature sound? What was it about it that just spoke to you?
That's good, Paul. What happened was the first time, when I first touched it, because a lot of keyboard players played the Fender Rhodes exactly the way they played the grand piano. You can't do that because it's a different color. Yep. So I listened to the color and I said, oh, okay. So I was trying to floating with the keyboard and in the knobs, you can kind of get a different effect. Yeah. But before I did expansions, I was still with Miles when I did, what was the first one? Astral Traveling. Yeah. And I had to leave Miles. I didn't want to leave, but I had to leave because you had to support the record. Yep. So, but when I got with expansions, I looked at the Fender Rhodes and I remember Miles Davis on stage, he had all these pedals hooked up to his trumpet. So I said, man, if I hook up all these pedals to this Fender Rhodes, and that's what happened. It worked. And people said that was like a cosmic sound. I hooked up the wah-wah pedal, the echo, and some other things. Yeah. And it worked. And Smash took off.
Such a unique sound to you, to your sound, isn't it? And it's that kind of spacey, just a nice kind of uplifting sound, isn't it? Because I always remember when I was younger, I always used to skip school. I always remember this. And I used to listen to expansions on my Walkman, on my headphones. Instead of going to school, I would just go somewhere else and just sit and listen to like jazz funk. And I always listened to expansions on the headphones when I was a kid. So you were inspiring me even then.
Oh, that's it, man. Because I like when you say spacey, because that's what I try to do. Because playing a whole lot of notes, it's good, but it's like with Miles. What Miles said, it's where you put those notes, and because Miles Inman said the same thing. What you don't play is just as important as what you do play. And So you need that space.
Yeah, definitely. You're very, very spiritual as well, Lonnie. Very spiritual, very kind of positive person, and that comes across in the music, especially expansions. The lyrics to expansions is very, very positive. What was the thinking behind the expansions and the lyrics in there then?
That was it. That was the first time I wrote lyrics.
Right.
And growing up, then you hear the gospel, then you hear the blues.
Yeah.
And because we all came out of the blues and gospel. And so, especially the blues, that they be crying the blues. You say, my baby done left me and all that. I said, no, wait a minute, we need some positive lyrics to lift the people up.
Yeah.
And I was doing all this studying up in the different philosophies and religions.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to come up with this universal sound and universal lyrics. So, say, let's expand your mind so we can, make this world a better place.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's what I was trying to do with all the lyrics. The next record was Visions of a New World, where we'd all live in peace and harmony. And
yeah,
I've been trying to do that. So
yeah, it still shines through. It still shines through. Even such a positive message today more than ever. It's very uplifting. No, I love. Great track. Do
you practice meditation and yoga and things like that, Lonnie?
Well, not too much yoga. I do exercise. Of course, it's at one time I was a part of Street and Moy, because that was Santana did it. He was there.
Oh, yeah.
And John McLaughlin and the Northern Michael Warden. But they had just left when I came to so I was there for a while, and meditation does work. So
yeah.
And then they had a vegetarian restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And so I would. So all that works. So,
definitely. Yeah, I like to try and practice a little bit of meditation and mindfulness as well. I think it really kind of helps, keep you centered and keep you focused on what you're working on.
That's it. I mean, John, you're right, because that's what I try to put into the music. So, because I want you as an audience to listen to the music, and so you can discover who you are, and make yourself, and go ahead and do what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep. I tried to do yoga the other day, and I could hardly walk after it. Honestly.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I tried too, Paul.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, really.
That's it.
They make it look so easy.
It's yoga is something.
Yeah, definitely. See, I was going to ask as well, Lonnie. See, Cosmic Funk, the track Cosmic Funk. Was that your brother that sang on it? Did you say it was your brother? Or?
Oh, that was Donald. And that was. Because he got this great voice. See, Donald and Ray, my two younger brothers.
Yeah.
They inherited my father's beautiful tenor voice.
Right.
I could only sing the bass, and so that's Donald. But the thing is, Bob Field, because he produced John Coltrane and Duke Ellington, so he had Flying Dutchman Records.
Yeah.
And so. I don't know. He put that cover on Cosmic Funk. I said, "Golly, Bob." And so, but people love it. And so I know Bob used to come to the studio sometime. He'd mess with me. He said, "Lonnie, I got this new song I want you to do." I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's called Dumpy Mama." I said, "No, Bob, that's not Cosmic." And he just laughed.
I can't believe that sound actually comes out of his mouth. And does that actually come out of his face? That is incredible.
I know.
But, do you know that bit I'm talking about when he sings that bit, and it's just like it sounds like a synthesizer or something. I don't know what. It just sounds incredible.
I know, but Bob was something. But he's a great producer, though.
Yeah. Great team behind it.
Could you tell us a bit about working on the Guru album as well on Jazzmatazz? That was a really great album as well. I'm sure you were involved with that one, weren't you? With Down the Back Streets.
That was. Now that one really surprised me because, to be honest with you, John, EMI called me and they said, "Well, we doing this thing called Jazzmatazz."
Yeah.
And I guess it's look at jazz meets rap or rap meets jazz. And they were trying to get the Blue Note covers theme. So they said, "We want to use you on one cut, and I think some other, Donald Byrd, Roy S."
Yeah.
So I said, "Well, okay." I wasn't doing anything. I said, "Okay, they're going to fly me to New York, and they worked. It was a good deal, economic wise." So we did, I did Down the Back Street. I met all these rappers, and And then Don Bird and I, we went on a little tour with Guru.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing was, Don Bird and I would go to all the jazz record stores, when during the daytime, and we go to the store and they're all the rappers in the jazz record store looking for records to sample. So and then they started telling you stories about how their uncles and father made them listen to jazz when they were smaller or younger. And but now what's blowing my mind, 25 years or more later, the whole world is saying Jazzmatazz is a classic, and you're doing all kinds of interviews, and people are all excited. So
we're huge fans of the Guru and DJ Premier and on what they guys do. And there's such a thin line between the hip hop and the jazz stuff, because obviously those guys took a lot of influence, massive influence for what you guys were doing into the hip hop music, So it was great to see the Guru just making something original with the jazz and the hip hop together. And it's something quite unique, isn't it?
That was, and that's what a lot of the kids, the younger generation, they're discovering us and jazz through listening to those samples.
Yeah.
So it works.
You were sampled by Jay-Z as well on the Dead President song. That's another absolute classic from hip hop. That's a great song. It's a great sample as well.
Oh, that was a big surprise because because the people, everyone, all the rappers tell me said that Dead President really helped Jay-Z's career.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just amazing because when I did A Garden of Peace years ago, I was in the studio. And so, and the record companies always putting pressure on you. Oh, we got to have a hit record. So I was sitting at the piano in the studio and I said, I'm going to play what I want to play. I'm just going to write something beautiful.
Yeah.
And I played a Garden of Peace on the grand piano. Then I overdubbed the electric piano for different colors.
Yep.
And so I was just doing what I wanted to do. And years later, Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, everyone else, I mean, man, they're crazy about this song. And they're just sampling it. And so that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful track. It's probably one of Jay-Z's best tracks that came from the inspiration from yourself. Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, thanks. All right.
Where do you stand on sampling and that as well, Lonnie? Do you think there's positivity in sampling? Do you think it's helped a lot of people get into new music, I guess, as well, new sounds?
Yeah, the younger generation, they're discovering jazz and us through the samples. Yeah, because they're here and they say, "Oh, okay, they get excited." And when I talk to younger people who buy records, they just. I mean, I feel good because they say the song is just so peaceful. Yeah. And they go back and start listening to it. And so the samples, they work. Yeah. Although now, the business side, sometimes people sample you and won't let you know. But, I guess that's just regular business life.
Yeah. No, it's incredible track. I just love seeing that, the merge of jazz and hip hop. And it was great to see you supporting those kind of ventures, especially like we say with the Jazzmatazz, and just because there's such a close connection with jazz and hip hop that seems to get lost
so well as well. Merging that jazz and hip hop together, it just really did work so well together.
Yeah, you're right, because I mean, it was amazing when the record came out. Because at that time YouTube wasn't doing too much playing, but when they heard Jazzmatazz, man, they got all excited, and I guess they would say jazz meet rap or rap meets jazz, and so it was like I said, very surprising how things affect people. Because I grew up, I'm listening to John Coltrane and Charlie Parker and Miles, but they okay, I was on I think it was a TV show one time. Yeah. With Guru, and so I'm talking about, oh man, y'all gotta listen to John Coltrane. These are young kids, I mean real young kids. I said, y'all gotta listen to John Coltrane, Miles Davis. So they just sitting there, no reaction. So all of a sudden, one of the kids said, Guru. I said, yeah, I did Guru Jazzmatazz. Man, I was a superstar then. I don't know.
Yeah, you said you went touring with the rappers as well, yeah?
We're touring?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Donald Byrd and I was on tour with Guru, and I mean, actually, I think we were in Japan, and
Oh wow.
it was amazing how at that time you could see how big rap was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, all these young Japanese kids, and even the ones in Europe.
Yep.
I mean, they were dressing like the rappers.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking like the rappers. Because you didn't know it. You didn't know it was that big.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole new movement. What a movement that was. The hip hop movement was just absolutely exploded, didn't it?
That was it.
What was Japan like, Lonnie? I've been to Japan once, and it's just, did you enjoy it out there? That is just a phenomenal place, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, Japan. One thing I give them credit. I mean, they really listen to the music, and I think y'all do the same thing because they really read the liner notes and everything. Because a lot of times they ask you a question, you're not even thinking about it, or you forgot about it. But they're really into the liner notes, and they really listen to the music, and so it's a great experience once you start traveling to see how big the music is. Because the record comes in America won't tell you that the music is worldwide and doing all these sales and
right.
So when you start traveling, you get a chance to see that people really love the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's
what would you say are like some of your kind of highlights, your favorite experiences so far in your time in the music industry?
I guess when Expansions came out, I went to London, and they said, "Oh, you father of jazz fusion funk." I said, okay, then. And then you go down to Australia. I mean, they went crazy, and but that's a long one. I thought Japan was long, but when you're flying from America to Australia, that's a long trip.
A long haul.
Yeah, is that
long haul? You're right.
24 hours or something, isn't it?
Huh?
Is that not like 24 hours or something to travel that far?
With the airlines?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you got to be ready. I mean, go to Japan. It takes about 16 hours, I think, and you don't watch about 4 or 5 movies. You still got about 6 8 hours to go. But going to Australia, it's almost like 24 hours.
Yeah,
and you lose times, and when you're coming back, it's really strange. Like you leave Australia on a Wednesday, and you ride back in America on a Wednesday.
Ah, yeah.
So it's
Back to the Future.
Well, what's that like when you go to the place as well? Do you get a bit of time to acclimatise before you're on stage, or were you just like straight off the plane up on the stage?
Oh no, you can't do that. No, you got to always get there a day before, and you can negotiate. You get there 2 days before. I mean, because oh man, that jet lag will tear you up.
Yeah, definitely.
And the sunshine, two Scottish guys wouldn't handle the sunshine very well, I don't think. It's hot. That's hot out there.
Yeah. John's a little bit of sunshine today, Lonnie, and it's like we're already hiding indoors.
Oh shoot! Okay.
We're not used to this sunshine.
Do we have sunshine?
Scotland's finally got some sunshine. It's been a long winter, but finally, and John's just got a little bit of sunburn on his baldy head. I think.
Up here.
Okay. So what time is it over there now?
It's like 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
30 p.m.
Oh my God. Okay, y'all about 6 or 5 or 6 hours ahead of us. All right.
Yeah.
Lonnie, what kind of music are you listening to just now? Just out of curiosity, is there some new artists that are inspiring you, or? Because it's interesting to think what the viewers should check out and who we should be checking out if there's somebody
if I go on YouTube, I love listening to Train because they're very inspiring, and of course Miles and all that. But lately, oh man, this group was it Silk Sonic?
Oh yeah,
they came out with Leave the Door Open.
Yeah.
Oh man, that blew me away.
Bruno Mars, isn't it?
Huh?
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, isn't it?
That's it. And they came out with Leave the Door Open. I mean, they really surprised me. I mean, they did a good job on that one. I hope the whole album comes out to be just as good as that song.
Yeah, the same sort of vibe. They've captured that kind of magic of the 70s, I think, haven't they?
Oh, right. And they real nice chord changes, everything.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that inspires other people to hopefully step up and follow suit as well, other artists to do similar, you know.
I hope so too, because they did it right. And so I hope other artists will, start going the same direction.
Yeah, it's very exciting times in music now. People have opened up and appreciating the music from those kind of decades now a lot more than they had before. And there's a great interest in the kind of younger listeners for looking back to how the music was written back then, because we just can't match it, can we, Joe? Us youngsters can't match what you guys done, Lonnie. You done it too good.
Hey, that's Paul. That's it. Because people always say, if you notice, the most creative period in music so far was the 70s.
Yeah.
It's everybody was creating, and so then they act. The young ones, they call us OGs. Amazing. And it's what happened? I don't know. But everybody was kind of studying Earth, Wind and Fire. Everybody was, then even Sun Ra. Everybody was studying. So, but now it's. I think social media is great, but there's a good and bad to everything. I think social media is kind of taking you away. Because you still gotta.
Yeah, sometimes it becomes a bit more focused on the social media itself as opposed to the music. It kind of takes away from the music in a sense.
That's a good point. It's hey, so social media is great, but you still gotta, like Bruno and the other young man did.
Yeah.
But Leave the Door Open, they did a good job of putting it together. I was surprised.
Yep. Yeah, I think it should never be sales over creativity, shouldn't it? It should always be creativity first, hopefully.
That's it. Creativity has to be first.
Yep, definitely. No, I like that. I like Bruno Mars, the fact that he's in that position to do something like that, and he's using that position to do it, because a lot of people like to play it safe once they get to the top these days, So that's why I love Bruno Mars, the fact he's thinking, no, let's pay respects to what's inspired him over the years, and just change it up to something modern as well,
That's it. I think what he did, some kind of funk, uptown funk and all that. It was good, right. but I can see he's making a natural progression, and just like okay, we started with gospel, then we started with blues, and then you're doing all that, then you get to expansion. So we all make that transition. So I hope we can keep it going.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, the music industry must be a kind of vastly different place from what it was when you first started getting involved in the industry. Where do you think things are going to go next?
That's really interesting, because for a while the music industry, because I don't have a studio, but a lot of the young kids, they have studios in their home, and they can make a record right there. They don't have to use the big studios like we used to do.
Yeah.
And so the record companies were having a big problem, but the record companies, it's still tricky, because that streaming, people don't realize the artist is not getting paid what he's supposed to be, get paid. And the record companies have figured out how they can get most of the money, which is, which is very unfair.
Yeah.
So it seems like streaming now, and the record companies are taking advantage of that. So
I think
I guess the artists got to figure out another way how to make that, balance that out.
Yeah, I think they're trying to shake that up a bit now. Hopefully, a lot of the musicians are trying to get on board and push that the other way, I think, right now. So hopefully some good comes of that.
Right, I hope so. You're right.
You're such a positive guy as well, Lonnie, such a spiritual guy. Have you got any advice for people who have been kind of living through the difficult year that we've had, and now that we're starting to hopefully come out the other end? Have you got any advice for people and looking to positive times ahead?
Yeah. What I found out, because when it happened, I started reflecting.
Yeah.
And this is a good period to start reflecting and say, well, because you were just moving. all of us was just moving, and we wouldn't really realize how much moving we were doing and running around, and then all of a sudden this hits, and you said, "Oh man, I don't need to do that anymore. This is that's what you need to do." Because I mean, you know, jumping on planes and hotels and not getting any sleep, and man, you were just running, and you weren't really thinking about what you were doing. So I think people should use this as a good reflection. I noticed even a lot of women now saying when things kind of get back to normal and start going back to work, they're not going to be doing a lot of the crazy wearing of clothes, certain clothes and makeup and all this stuff. I mean, because they've been working from home. I mean, a lot of things you were doing was just unnecessary. And so I think people should use it as a good reflection and start cleaning out things spiritually, mentally, and everything that you really, you really don't need to do anymore.
Yes, good advice. Yeah, let us take a step back and just see it for what your life was. I think definitely.
You're right.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's giving people that time to focus on like what's most important to them and really just kind of zoning in on that type thing.
That's it. I mean, right? Because that's just trying to find out what is most important. Because a lot of times you moving and running around and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, totally. You can get stuck in those routines, I guess, that that maybe aren't doing you any good. Then when you get time to like step back from that and reflect on it, you can make changes to yourself.
That's it. Think about a lot of things we're doing. You like you say, it's not doing us any good.
Yep, definitely.
So what's next for you, Lonnie? What's next in the agenda for you?
Now that's a good question, because I mean, like I said, I'm staying in the house, and I'm not that interested in start jumping on those planes and hotels,
Australia,
anytime soon. But if I lived in places like New York, or because studios or California, LA, because most of the musicians are in LA and New York, that would be easy. But then Virginia, you can't go to not that many. All the creative musicians, I mean, the main ones out there in New York and LA. Yeah. So I'm just still reflecting and just deciding on if, I really want to really get back out there or just do certain things. Yeah. And so just kind of play it by ear right now.
Cool.
Yeah. See where it goes.
Okay. And just to ask you a random question, Lonnie, do you watch Netflix?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I guess I can say it. We got Verizon, and that's a whole lot of money. You got Verizon phone, cell phone, and we still got a landline. So we got a whole bunch of stuff on Verizon. That's a whole lot of money. And then I think you have to pay for Netflix. And so, although there was one thing on Netflix I watched, they let me watch it was what was that guy? He was they call him the Black Godfather or something. He worked on the record companies. I can't think of his name, but he's real famous. He's like he worked for Columbia Records and all that stuff. And and so that was interesting. But you watch Netflix a lot?
I'm surprised John watches. John's seen everything on Netflix.
I think I completed it, Lonnie. So I stopped watching it a few months ago. I was watching it too much.
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay, because I do watch certain things like right now I'm watching. But it's on regular Godfather of Harlem, and things like that.
Oh yeah, I've not seen that yet. I've not seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't been on Netflix.
Too much music. Too much music to get stuck into. There's some great music documentaries on Netflix. Great documentaries about music history.
There's a lot of music documentaries on Netflix.
Yeah, tons of stuff for that. You can get lost in it a little bit, don't you, John? You spend too much time on Netflix.
Weeks on end, doesn't it?
Because I really want to. I haven't seen the Billie Holiday story yet. I mean, I want to. Yeah. I think there's a documentary on Billie Holiday. I want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'll just wait till it come on with what I already have.
Yeah. Lonnie, is there an album that stuck with you over the years, that like an artist or an album that is your go-to album that's kind of maybe inspired you over the years, or an artist or a band? But who would you say is your kind of biggest influence musically over the years?
Let me see. Well, I guess it would have to be, like I said, I first heard Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
And that was it. I guess that's another reason why I approach the keyboards the way I do, because I always loved the horn players.
Yeah.
Because I listen, Charlie Parker, Train, and Miles, and I always loved what they did, because now when you play the keyboard, they call it the grand piano. They call it the well-tempered clavichord. In other words, you can't bend the notes like the horn players do and the guitar players do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get those sounds, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
And then when I worked with Max Roach, he told me this story about Charlie Parker. He took a job washing dishes in a club so he could hear Art Tatum play piano every night.
Wow.
And I mean, so Art Tatum, he was influenced by Art Tatum. So, but then when I heard Charlie Parker, I said, "Oh shoot, I wish I could do that on the keyboard." But so I mean, I guess that's where I approach the piano, because I hear a lot of the horn players, and and I remember when I was with Miles, because we used to talk about Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Him and Jimi Hendrix were supposed to do an album together, but of course Jimi, he passed.
Yeah.
Before they did. Can you imagine if Miles and Jimi Hendrix had put that? Oh man,
that would have been incredible. That would have been a game changer, I think. Wow.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah. No, it's been an absolute pleasure, Lonnie. Absolute pleasure having you on our little show for a chat, just to learn more about your story and hopefully inspire some of the viewers of our show to learn more about you, listen back to your music, because it's just an incredible journey. And yeah, we're huge fans. So thanks for taking time out. What an honor.
All right. Well, yeah, man, it's my pleasure. I mean, I'm glad. I'm sorry it took me so long, but
no worries.
But we got there.
Yeah, thanks very much for taking the time to chat to us, Lonnie. It's been a pleasure chatting to you.
All right, it's my pleasure, brother.
Right. You take care of it. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon one day, Lonnie. You take care, all right?
All right. Well, you should catch up one day, what?
We'll catch up one day, I'm sure, if we get you back on for a chat on the show one day. You keep in touch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that'd be good. Who knows? I might get lucky we meet in person. We'll see what happens.
Get yourself over to Scotland. Come over to Scotland while the sun's out.
Oh, okay.
You need to be fast. You need to be quick, though.
All right.
No, you take care, Lonnie. We'll speak to you soon, all right?
All right, brother.
Thanks,
Take
Lonnie.
care, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.